Hi everyone and welcome back to Minecraftmum Survival Skills. Today is episode 7 and we're going to focus, now that we have armor, or most of our armor, on finishing off our farm and in particular getting some animals to add to our farm. So what I'm going to do is first of all show you how to make some very important things for a farm. One is how to make fences. So I'll show you that quickly. Sticks on either side. Oh, this is the gates actually. So we start with sticks on either side and planks in the middle, and that gives you a gate for your fence for your animals. If you wanted to make yourself some fences, which in my case I don't, because I'm going to use cobblestones because we've got lots of cobblestones for mining. That's how you make it. So you've got on. I'll get a few actually, just to have around. But it's the sticks in the middle and then the planks on the outside. I think otherwise we've got pretty much everything we need. We might go and collect that little bit of wheat because we'll need that to attract the animals. And otherwise I think we're ready to go. So follow me. We'll head outside and get busy doing some farming today, and in particular getting some animals to add to the farm. The other thing we'll probably do is get a staircase organized because this jumping down isn't really good for our health as we keep popping down. So what I'm going to do is in this area here, build a pen for the animals. I'm just going to get it nice and level. It's good to have it close to home. And again, we're just using the natural contours of the area to create some sort of sides to the pen. Which will be easier to let the animals in. They'll probably just follow me and just drop right into the pen, which makes things a lot easier. Sometimes you can actually capture more animals without even trying, because they sort of drop down into the area and can't get out, so they stay. So what I'm doing again is just clearing a bit of a space. I can see them just up there on the hill already. So that's probably a good size. We'll just go a little bit this way as well. I'd like a fairly big pen. And there's two animals I'm going to focus in on, and which I think are very important for survival. The first is getting a good supply of cows. And the reason for that is not only the food from the beef, but also it is really important because you get leather from them. You can use that for armor, but I don't think that armor is usually worth the hassle. It's more important in terms of the making of books, which again I spoke about when I was collecting the sugar. It's really important for being able to do a library and then get into enchanting and that sort of thing. So that for me is the priority, getting some cows early on in the game and making sure you breed lots of cows and get lots and lots of leather. So here we go. We've got a fairly decent size. Again, I don't know if I explained at the beginning of the video why I tend to use cobblestone for the sides of my pens. The main reason is I've had a lot of beautiful farms with lots of fencing that look fantastic, but inevitably at some point in the game a creeper has followed me into the pen or got in there in the night and then exploded and made a real mess of everything. So what I tend to do now is, rather than, and often the animals would escape, is now I tend to try and work with the in this case the natural environment. So you've got lots of high areas around you. Put the edges in cobblestone, and then if some creeper sneaks in and blows everything up, at least you've got more of a chance of the animals being contained by the hills on either side while you quickly recreate. And also the cobblestone is a lot more robust than what you would find in terms of fencing. So again, it doesn't look as nice, but it does the job. Now to open and close the gates, you just press on the right click. What I'm going to also do is collect up some of this wheat while we're here, because we're going to need that to attract the animals and feed the animals. So you just bash it, and then what we need to do is replant, and we'll also expand our planting area later, but at this point let's focus in on getting some of those animals into the new pen. So there we go. So let's head up this way. We'll get some wheat in our hands, and what we want to do is just have them follow us down. Oh, here's our first one. So what you do is you approach it with the wheat in your hand and then start walking slowly. Occasionally look back to make sure they're following, and they are. And we'll just head down the hill like so. And there's your first cow. Now take it out of your hand, put a sword in your hand to leave, because otherwise they'll try and push past and follow you out. Oh, and we've got another cow here, so let's put the wheat back in our hands, and it's going to follow us. Come on, cow. Follow, follow, follow. And here we go. And we've got 2. Now, to get more than 1 cow, you feed each of them, so right-click, and they're going to fall in love and have a baby. And there's the baby, and you get an experience point every time you do that. So again, that's a great way. If you've got a huge pen full of animals, you can quickly get some experience points that way. The other thing we could collect that I think I've seen nearby is, you don't need to worry about collecting more than 2, because in a couple of days, if you keep breeding them, you're going to get a good supply. Is we're going to get some sheep, or at least 1 sheep. Because we can shear them, and then that will give us a good supply of wool. The main thing I use sheep for is just for the wool. You can breed them, but I don't tend to need that much wool, so I usually just have 1 that I shear to keep my supply of wool up. And if you get a white one, then you can, dye the wool different colors to suit whatever you're trying to do. So here we go. We'll give you some wool or some wheat just to make you welcome you to the new farm. The other thing I'm going to do is put some torches around just to light up this area at night. Oop, and we'll clear that out a bit. And there we go. So we have now got ourselves some of the basics in terms of animals. So I think I may have said chickens are also a useful animal to have available. So I'm just going to see if we can see any nearby. If we can find any, that would be fantastic. And again, 2 ways of getting the chickens to follow you. One is to get them, put some seeds in your hand, and they'll just follow the seeds. The other is to try and collect as many eggs as you can. So let's just take a look if we can see any chickens anywhere, and do a bit of exploring. It's starting to get a bit dark, but I'm not quite as worried as I used to be, because we are a lot more protected with our armor now. So let's just take another look around. And do we see any chickens? Now, often you'll hear them before you see them. That's quite often the case. While we're here, though, I'm going to collect a bit more sand, because that will be useful for expanding our area for the sugarcane. So I'll just quickly collect a bit more. That's quite useful. It's also quite useful for block jumping, which I'll show you in a future episode. So again, collecting up a good supply of the sand, which is that light color. We'll grab that one as well, and we'll head back to our home. Heading this way. If we luck out, we might see a little chicken on the way. I'm not holding my breath though. We're not that far from home, actually. We're just right there. And up we come over the horizon. I might try and attract this sheep while we're at it. Might as well have a few more. Oh, we're gonna get a couple. So, come on, sheep, join the party. We might as well breed some while we're at it. So, we've again got some experience points and a baby sheep. Again, switch back to a sword when you leave, because if you've got wheat in your hands, you're going to tend to have troubles in terms of people not people, animals trying to follow you. Oh, that's how we tended to go up. We'll head up that way. So here we are. That's the basics of the farm now in place. So we'll head back up home. Oh, there's an Enderman over there. That tall black person there. What you don't want to do is look at it. So I almost looked at it. They'll then come running over and try and kill you, and they can be quite nasty. So not recommended. So that's the end of episode number 7. We've now got the farm functioning with animals. We just need to find some chickens in a future episode. But I think we've done quite well. So thanks for watching, and tune in for next episode where we'll probably put a staircase down to the farm and finish off the farm with some chickens. Bye for now. Thanks for watching Minecraftmum Survival Skills.